Hi, I'm Jimmy Hayes, and I live in Sarasota, Florida. I have flown essentially 7,500 hours. I've owned over 40 aircraft. I've flown myself to 47 countries, and now I've been retired 10 years, and I fly almost every day. If I'm in town and the weather's conducive, I go and I fly aerobatics in one of my planes virtually every single day.
AOPA keeps flying safe, accessible, and fun by protecting your freedom to fly. We are the most trusted one-stop resource for all things related to general aviation. Become an AOPA pilot today.
I like to go out and do my own aerobatics. I do it early in the morning when the airspace is not cluttered up, when the air is nice. And actually, I really enjoy taking people to fly with me and giving them the opportunity to experience aerobatics. I've taken a lot of air traffic controllers, a lot of firemen, policemen, friends, acquaintances, and it's not for everyone. Not everyone I take finds out that they love going upside down in an airplane, but a lot of them do. I took one gentleman that was a retired airline pilot, and he took a snapshot when we were upside down and he was looking backwards at Earth, and he put a caption on it that said, "If you've been here, no explanation needed. If not, no explanation possible." And I thought that was a great way to explain what it feels like to be upside down in the wonderful world of aerobatic aviation. I think finding opportunities to let people experience something that they may never, ever get to experience otherwise kind of makes me very excited. Every time I take someone flying, I do a video. I'll put a video mounted directly at them so they can kind of see how their body reacts to the aerobatics. Sometimes I'll put one on the back of the airplane so they can see what maneuvers we're doing. And when I come back, I edit the video down and I put music behind it. And I think I like to use music that kind of relates to the type of flying I do. I'm not an air show pilot. I don't do anything low. I'm up nice and high. And I don't do hard edges, I do round edges. So I fly a lot of aerobatic maneuvers, but I pride myself on being very precise and very smooth. It's just a very rewarding thing, and it makes me feel good watching it. Probably about 15 years ago, a friend of mine tried to get me to go fly in his L-39. And I said, nah, I'm not really a warbird guy. So I passed on the opportunity. And then over the next several years, as I continued flying different aircraft, I would be at the air shows, Oshkosh or Sun and Fun, and I would see these guys come in the L-39. And I said, man, that is an awesome airplane. So that's when my interest started to peak in the aircraft itself. So when I bought this plane, my intention was to restore it to essentially a show-winning quality and do as many creative things as Code 1 could do to make it a smoother, faster, better flying, safer, reliable aircraft. Probably the most important thing we did is we changed the engine from the original engine that was in the plane to a Garrett 731. It's more reliable, the life is longer. Where a stock engine would have a 12-second lag from the time you slam the throttle, this one has 3 seconds. It's more efficient. I can cruise at 25,000 feet at 400 knots, burning 145 gallons, where a stock plane would cruise at 25,000 feet at 360 knots, burning 175 gallons. So it's faster, more efficient, safer. It's just a wonderful part of the upgrade to this airplane. Beyond that, we did lots of things. Some are visible, some are not. We took 575 pounds of weight out of the plane. We stripped the plane down totally. Jonathan McCormick in Gadsden, Alabama painted the aircraft. It was about 3,000 hours of labor that went into stripping and painting this aircraft. And it's painted in colors that complement my Pilatus PC-7, which was our objective all along. It's a different paint scheme. This is a digital camo package where the PC-7 is a very different look, but it's the same colors. And then the avionics, that's where I really get excited because I really like glass cockpits. I like aircraft, particularly World War II and warbirds. On the outside, you want them to look original, but on the inside, you want them as reliable, as safe, and as good in terms of providing situational awareness as you can make them. So if you looked at the cockpit of this plane, there's a lot of glass. I've got dual Garmin G3Xs in both cockpits. I've got dual 750s in the front, Garmin autopilot, standby, Garmin audio panel, Garmin transponders, 2 of them. And in addition to ADS-B in and out, it also has active TCAS. We put a lot of thought into the layout of the instruments in this aircraft, and it just fits like a glove. And I love it, I truly do. You know, not many people have an opportunity to say that they fly a fighter jet. For me, as a non-military pilot, to be able to fly a military jet fighter is just an incredible thing. But I take it seriously. I do a lot of training. I fly this plane often, and that's what we should do when we're flying complex aircraft. I use my checklist, and I make sure that I go through every single flight the exact same way. I love the airplane. I think what people find when they go for a flight with me and they've never been in a jet like this is they're always surprised how smooth it is. It just glides through the air. Now you might be doing 400 knots. You pull the same G's in the L-39 that you do the Pilatus PC-7 in an aerobatic maneuver. But the big difference is in this plane you're going faster. Therefore the G's come on quicker and they last longer. So it's a bit more of a workout flying acro in this plane than my other planes. I owned a PC-9. I was the second civilian in the world to own a PC-9, which is actually the successor of the PC-7. I was looking at buying a Pilatus PC-7 or 9. I looked at both aircraft. I bought the 9. A friend of mine had bought this PC-7, which was flown by the Austrian Air Force, and he decided to sell it. And I said, I can't let that plane get away. Not many hours were on the aircraft, and I knew that I could turn it into kind of a masterpiece with new paint, new interior, and a new engine. So I bought it, and I owned both airplanes for a number of years, and they were painted exactly the same. So they're reliable. I like to say often that the PC-7 is probably the safest single-engine aircraft out in the sky. You know, it's built by Pilatus. It's strong as it can possibly be. It's got a PT-6 engine. It's got state-of-the-art avionics. It was very well maintained by the Austrian Air Force. It was built in Switzerland, but the Austrian Air Force flew it. And it's just an incredibly reliable, safe aircraft. It doesn't have bad characteristics. If you ask me what my favorite aircraft is, it's probably that one, just because it's so easy for me to pull that aircraft, go fly my aerobatics, come back, put 30 gallons of gas in it, and call it a day until the next day when I do it again. Aviation has allowed me to do things, to travel literally the world. 47 countries I've flown myself to, so I have friends in every country I've flown to that I still keep in touch with today on Facebook. The ability to go and fly these incredible airplanes almost every single day doesn't get much better than that. Well, I'll be 72 in August. And I probably am as good a pilot as ever been. I'm in excellent health. In fact, on my 70th birthday, I did 70 continuous aerobatic maneuvers in the PC-7. On my 71st birthday, I did 71 continuous upside down maneuvers in the L-39. This year, 72, I'll do it again. So the perfect scenario for me is I get to continue to do that each year for a lot of years to come. We never know what's around the corner in terms of health and how long we'll be able to continue flying, but I'm very hopeful I'll be able to do it for a lot of years.